Welcome to the Rich in Success podcast, the podcast that aims to define exactly what success is to you and helps you implement this into your daily life. Hosted by cousins, actor, singer and multiple business owner Matt Hall and ex-rugby player, health, wellbeing and fitness coach Dan Ramsden. Join them on this exciting journey as they unravel the minds of their inspirational guests in a quest of self-discovery. Are you ready to take your life to the next level? If so, this is the podcast for you. Now let today's lesson begin.
Welcome back to this episode of the Rich in Success podcast. Thank you, as always, for joining us. This is super exciting today. It's very different to what we are used to. We've come over here to the south of France to interview a lady called Laura, who is a yoga expert.
Sorry.
Don't worry. I'm building you up here. This is the big build-up. Laura, it's fine. Okay. It's because we had a conversation before. I didn't want to pronounce the name wrong. But Laura is another lady that's not with us right now. We've come over here and we've been staying at the Koala Beach hostel and got talking yesterday to the lovely lady that owned the hostel. She is called Lena Stubner, and we just got chatting and we found that the conversation was probably better than any episode we've ever done. We thought we've got to record this. So here we are, completely spontaneous. Who knows where this one's going to go? There's probably the least amount of preparation, Dan, we've ever done for an interview, isn't
definitely.
it? But I don't think it's needed. It's going to be pretty special. Dan, over to you, mate.
Yeah, so we started opening up a conversation yesterday and I'm quite amazed at the fact that you've gone from a high-flying city life, presenting in Sweden. So you're from Stockholm originally, is that right?
I came from Gothenburg, but I lived in Stockholm for 10 years, when I was a
okay.
TV presenter over
So
there.
TV presenter, city life, high-flying, ditched everything to come and live here in the beautiful place of south of France. Where are we right now? How do you pronounce it?
It's Hossegor.
Hossegor.
It's sort of known as the surfing capital of Europe.
Yeah, and it's quite close to Biarritz, not too far from Biarritz, so it's absolutely stunning. It's
I mean, those watching it on the video, look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Dan and I have done a workout this morning. We've been in the sea. It's just, this is the definition of living the dream to many people, isn't it?
Yeah, life is a very slow and calm pace here, isn't it, in comparison? So we're quite interested to find out. You've gone from the city life, the presenting, a slight bit of fame as well due to the adverts that you were taking part in and things like that, and you...
A slight bit of fame?
Well, yeah, okay.
She is the face of Skoda.
Face of Skoda.
Don't dumb that down. She's a big deal.
And you didn't want none of that, and you wanted this life. Can you explain your reasoning behind that?
Well, when I was 21, I got headhunted to one of the biggest shows in Sweden. So prime time, Channel 1, 3 times a week, going from being nobody to being extremely famous. Everyone would know who you are on the street. You think that that's what brings you happiness. I pretty soon discovered that it didn't. I loved my job. I loved being in front of the camera. I loved all that bit, but you know, after a while, it's super stressful. It's like always pressure. It's pressure on your looks, on your clothes, everything. And
Financially, I guess, as well.
You get a lot of money.
Yeah.
You get before all the queues. You get to live that dream that, especially when you're younger, or maybe all your life, they make you think that's what life is about. That's the happy life. That's what we show. Everyone would think I'm the most, happiest person alive, because that's the only thing you would show outwards as well. It's like the only show perfection out. And so I did that, and I absolutely loved it first. Like, I was living like that fame dream, but at the same time, it's a big backside as well. Like, you don't know who your friends are, and you really don't. You have no idea. You're always under pressure. You're always like working. You're always told that everyone wants your job. So it's sort of.
So the pressure can build up, and did you not feel fulfilled anymore?
I was very I was lucky because I worked for a show that everyone loved. So wherever I went, everyone was super nice to me all the time, and I felt the pressure of always being nice as well. Like, I always You know, anyone you see, they're like, oh, it's you. So you always have to be nice and friendly.
Well, that's something I always think. If you're famous, we all have days where we just feel a bit more tired, a little less, you know, in a bad mood. Frankly, we all get like that. And I think if you just pop out to the shops and you're just thinking about 1,000,001 things and you just need to get whatever from the shops, and then you're known and people come up and go, oh my God, it's you, can I speak to you? They expect you to be this bubbly, happy person, which doesn't mean you're not that person. We can all have a few moments where we're just tired and we don't want to have to put on that front.
But I think the worst is not people coming up. I mean, if you see someone that you like, go up and say hi and like, oh wow, I admire you. That is great. Mm-hmm. The worst is the ones that maybe, you know, you don't know if they stare or not.
Okay, you don't know what their reaction is.
You know, or that you just don't know if you're being paranoid. Or I think like the thing I loved the most was people who came up actually and like, wow, hi, Then it's like, oh, thank you, and they give you energy. You know, they like, wow, and you give energy.
And that's
back.
a two-way thing. Suddenly,
And I really think like that's a nice thing to do instead of like, you know, maybe filming a little bit in secret and all that. So I had like that dream, but then I discovered something else, and I started surfing, and I got completely hooked. Like it was another lifestyle. You're very close to the nature. Yeah. You're very humble. I was no one. I was down in France. I was doing the dishes in a surf hostel or a surf camp, and I realized that being just, you know, in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, the same one for months, and just you and the ocean, and actually no one knew my family, no one knew who I was, but the people who liked me for me. Yeah. And I felt that all those things, because also in Stockholm I was famous for being very ahead of fashion. You know, when you're ahead of fashion, it's a lot of work, you know, like, oh, what's like before the trends, you know, like, so also I realized I feel much better here, and also because I felt better in my body, because I was outside all the time. I was eating healthy. I did in Stockholm as well, but it's more like you eat healthy because you shouldn't put on too much weight. You should look in a certain way. You would go to the gym to be like, you know, like your TV presenter, you have to look good. And here it was
it's not necessarily about energy, is it?
Not at all.
It's
you're tired. You force yourself to it. Like, you know, you go there, it's like, oh God, I haven't done the gym, you know, I have to go. And then here, when you're constantly doing a sport, something that you love actually, and that is very physically, like your body changes, and you feel pretty, and you feel good, you know, in another way of, you just go like, wow.
Well, this is something you said to us yesterday that I really loved. You said it's about finding an exercise that you love. Going to the gym and lifting weights isn't for everybody. No. For some, it might be dancing or various sports. And wasn't there something, some information out there that actually, if you don't feel stressed out when you work, when you actually feel happy when you work out, it can actually help you lose more body fat as well? Is there some truth to that as far as we know?
I don't know. I had this personal coach for a while, and I met in my hostel also people who works with overweight kids.
Right. Okay.
And they also said what they said is like studies shows maybe you do it more when you love it, but if you can find something that you love, your body is more relaxed, so it's more like, you know, you burn it. And if you are under stress and you're forced to do this, some people say it's because when we were animals and we were running away from something, or we lifting, then your body would save the energy. Yeah. Because it's like it's
high cortisol.
It's like
cortisol rush.
Okay, and then that's what they explain. So if you actually find something that you love, and I think that's the main thing, to find your calling.
Well, you're going to be more inclined to want to go back and do it again. You know, if you've had a really productive day doing something that you love, you want to wake up and do it again. You don't want to shy away from doing that thing. So that's huge. That is what living is.
So what was the main thing for you for surfing? What was it about it that you'd not had in anything else you've done before?
I think it was I remember, so I went down here because I had a boyfriend who wanted to go. I didn't even know what surfing was at the time.
So he introduced you to it.
He didn't really introduce me. He just said, I go in the water and you do not, don't complain if you want to come with me. And I was like, of course not. And then I had read all my books and everything, and I was like, he's still out there.
Yeah. And what do I do now?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, I'll take this board, and I'm trying on my own. And it was just a big foamy, and it was this big. And I catched my first wave, and once you stand on it, it happens to a lot of people. You feel this could have been from the beginning of time. This pure, like standing up on this and just go on that ocean, on that wave. It felt really, that was what
like
hits me.
Spiritual
yes.
experience.
It's like, it's spiritual. It's also felt that it's absolutely normal. Like, we're sort of made for this, and it gives you also, of course, the adrenaline rush, and you're just like surfing maybe 2 seconds, and it feels like minutes, you know. It's funny, I have people come back and say, I surfed for, I think 2 minutes. I'm like, that doesn't exist, you know, but the time as well feels much longer, and it's so intense, and I think also like that you are not in charge. The ocean is in charge. It's very rare. Everything else you do, you are in charge. I used to dance ballet, like you're in charge, you know, you force yourself. Here's like, you can force yourself, but it's still the ocean who decides for you. So it's also like a little bit like, okay, you know.
Which obviously adds to the adrenaline as well.
And you can see, like, when it comes to surfers, which is really interesting, it's like when you see professional athletes in most sports, when they have vacation, they would do something else. Do you know what surfers do on their vacation?
I'm going to guess this.
They go surfing.
Really? Yeah.
They really do. Even the most, like, the people who compete every day on their vacation, they go surfing.
Yeah.
So I think it's a sport that not only is it amazing for your body, like, because you're in the water and the element and all that, but it's also like it's spiritual. It brings you happiness. If you have a problem, you go out and paddle, you feel so much better. And I think sometimes going to the gym, you're more like, oh, I'm angry, you know. Maybe you feel like after, but here it's much more. It's also nature taking care of you, you know. Like,
I guess that's what the humbling experience would be, because you're not in control. And that I guess I think it'd humble you more, the fact that you have to respect it because you're not in control of it. And it's bigger than you, and it's stronger than you. It always will be. That's the thing. Yeah,
it always will be, and that is the amazing thing with surfing. Like as I said, it's sort of spiritual, and it's also very hard.
Yeah, I've tried it, and I'm going to try it again.
We want to get it done.
We need to get out there and have another go at that. For sure.
But so for me, it was, I started surfing and I liked it a little bit too much. And I was still like, what, Lena? And everyone at home, like, you are having the dream. You're having the show that everyone dreams about. And then I did the Friday night show, you know, teams competing, and you do questions and stuff. So I was like, you know, trying a little bit to push it away. It's ridiculous to be like a famous TV star and wanting, you know, but then I just more and more did more and more of the surfing, and I just realized that if I want to be happy in my life, I have to slow down. I have time. Because today, like, you work too much. Maybe your work is amazing, but you have no time to stop up and look at the trees or, you know, appreciate the ocean.
Or 100%.
Like, you just like,
100%.
and then it's more and more, and then you meet that, like, you interview that famous person, and everyone's like, wow, that's amazing, and then you do the next, and I'm like, did you even, all this, when I look back at those 10 years, I go like, wow, did I actually do that? Because
like, you just flashed.
Yeah, and I didn't even take it in almost, you know, you're just like, and it's on, and now it's this, and now it's this, and now it's that, and then surfing was like, getting out there, it was like, boom, like, this is what it's about.
We did a podcast last night about reflection, taking time for yourself. You know, it's really important to take that time. You know, I did it while we were walking up and down the beach last night. You could hear the waves in the background, and that were a real moment of clarity for me. You know, because acknowledging as well that we came here to provide something for the listeners, but actually we need to do this more often for us as well. That's an important thing. That
stop.
Yeah, to calm down.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think people, especially in this day and age of Instagram and Facebook, they see this image of what it is to be successful and what it is to be happy, and presumably everybody's seeing you, as you say, in this amazing career, interviewing these amazing people, see that as happiness. But I think ultimately it comes down to how you're feeling and what you're thinking about. And if all you're thinking about is I'm stressed, I'm busy, I'm tired,
under pressure,
one thing after another, I've got big pressure, then that isn't, I don't believe, being successful.
No, and it's like, I think also, I understand when you look at those, today is like Instagrammers or, you know, this, you know, they look, of course, it looks perfect because that's the image you give out as well, but it also can create a lot of especially today when a lot is fake, you're also putting out the reality. For yourself as well. You have to, I don't understand, they have to live up to that. I see all those people like posing with surfboards and I'm like, you can't even surf. How do you feel? You know what I mean? Like you showing a fake reality. How are you going to live up to that?
Well, this is the thing as well. I mean, for me, so my girlfriend is a model, and a lot of the other models she looks up to or has worked with, or a lot of the time she sees them on Instagram, aspires to look like them, and then she meets them in real life and they don't actually look like that.
Oh, no.
And I think that goes, like you said, there's people, they look like they're amazing surfers. You actually go meet them at the beach and they go, oh no, I can't surf actually. But on Instagram, they are. And I think that's putting pressure on themselves.
Of course.
You know,
of course.
to look like their Instagram profile, which isn't real anyway. And I remember a friend saying...
There's no point having those followers though if you haven't got any substance or any... If you've not got the credentials to back it up,
absolutely.
It's pointless.
And also knowing that when they see you in reality, they're going to be...
That's not what I
thought. That's not really like...
So everybody's disappointed, including you, because you don't get the reaction
you have this
want.
pressure of always looking good.
Yeah.
And I remember when I worked on TV, that was a big thing for me. I refused, like they forced me to put on makeup. But I was like, I took the minimum because I'm like, I'm going to go out and face those people, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want them to say like, oh, she doesn't look like that in reality. Like that's what everyone...
People do that,
of course, we all do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. If people should like me, it should be for me.
Yeah.
And it's harder now. I mean, I'm 44 now, and I do put on makeup. But for years I didn't, because I was like, if people should like me and think I'm pretty, it must be who I am.
Yeah, for sure.
If not, the pressure is too big. I can't. One day you're going to wake up next to someone and you don't have the makeup on, and you don't. If they haven't learned to love your face and what you are, and you can't be like, it's only fake the rest, and it's like that's. And I feel sorry for all the girls and guys today that have to be perfect and looking good, because they, to be honest, they only do it on photos.
Yeah.
Beauty is from inside. It doesn't show on photos, but it is. It's in your eyes. Yeah. Beauty is from your eyes and your
That's
smile.
bad for me. I've got a wonky eye. Oh damn! This has been terrible. Listening to you. No, but I'm interested as well. You was telling us yesterday that you've taken that even further. So where you live now, am I right in thinking there's no televisions?
Yeah.
You only buy second-hand?
So presenter with no television.
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about those sort of rituals you've got now at home and in your life today. It's right, you only buy second-hand as well, is
yes.
that? Yeah.
Yes, obviously I am in the ocean.
Yeah.
And I am turned, like the nature is the most important thing, and the thing that can make us happy. It's the joy we have. It's not anything else. It's trees, it's oceans, it's animals. It is. That's what gives you pure happiness, and it only gives you more and more. It's not something you pay for and then you want new. Like nature is just there. So obviously I turned into an environmentalist. Like I'm very concerned about the nature. So I only buy secondhand, and I think because I do a lot of sport, I eat healthy, I feel good. I don't need to buy the new stuff. Like I consume very little, and no TV, no screens. My daughter is 7 and she's not allowed to have any on that. And if she wants me to take a photo, she has to do something. I don't take a photo when she looks pretty. I'm like, okay, I can film you, take a photo if you like surfing or skating or like building something or singing, but I'm not taking like pretty photos. Like that's not. I wanted to learn that is not important, because as I see it, you will only lose in the long run. You will look really amazing till you're 27, 28, and then it goes down. You can't do anything about it. You can maybe yourself look good for a couple of years, but you better do something that you get better on with time. Like playing the guitar, you just get better.
Well, your health and your looks and everything does fade over time. You have to be more humble and relaxed about who you are.
Yeah, and I think society and TV and everything is like putting too much focus and bad. Like I can also see that when you stop having all that, life changes completely. And you just nowadays, I can be addicted. I used to be very famous because I worked my first 4 years. I was like for a computer and game show.
Okay.
And now and now there is like none of that, you know, like and I'm against I used to work also behind the camera for documentaries, and I don't even watch the news anymore because I don't believe anything. They only tell us bad news, and it just stresses you, and you might even become almost racist, or you like, and when you step back and turn off all that, you're like, that's not me.
It's not who we are.
It's not who we are. We are made to love people.
Yeah, we don't naturally hate.
No, and it's just these mediums are like putting on us a lot of things that I don't feel. I shouldn't feel like if I see someone who looks like this, you know, it's only the TV who taught me that. We should go more like, oh wow, well, that's different. I've never seen that before.
So obviously, the more that you were around it, the more you knew that it wasn't for you over time. Is that kind of way, or were it just specifically the surfing that took you away from it naturally?
I think I saw that a lot was so fake.
Yeah.
That, you know, and I saw the backside of it. I saw how it was produced, and so I knew when I stepped back, I know it was all fake, you know, all those people looking amazing, all those singers and famous, like they didn't look like that in reality. They weren't that perfect. So I think already then I know it was like showing something that wasn't real, and that it was putting pressure on everyone. I mean, I've been a teenager too. I watched MTV and I got horrified about my own body. I was like, oh, this is how I should look. I remember I
had that. I definitely had that.
Yeah.
I had image obsession.
What is image? What's that?
Where I felt like I had to look a certain way.
And for me, that's why I think maybe it's that I feel free, or now it's like, I remember I had my first boyfriend for 4 years. The most beautiful boyfriend who loved me the way I was. And I remember we were like lying in the sofa, and that was only MTV, which was on a channel that no one had. And he turned it on, like, and there was these dancers and singers. And I remember that I was like, oh God, look at me. I don't look like that. How can he want to be with me? Like, why? He obviously wants to be with them instead. If he could choose, he would never have chosen me. And I don't think, like, you know, he was 15. He loved me more than anything. But that's what they make you feel. And imagine all these people growing up now, watching all these Instagrammers. Like, also it's just anyone can look good if you know how to do it. Oh yeah. Or you know, you can get rid of anything fat or anything by doing the right pose, you know. So it's like, but it's also putting extreme pressure on people, and it's also common. It's always stressful. Like the phone always beeping. So I think, like, for me it was seeing the background, but also like the more connected to nature I got, the more I was just like.
Yeah. And then that transition took you into the vegan diet, didn't it then?
Yes, it did.
One of the things that were interesting that you were saying is how much shoulder pain that you got from paddling, from all the surfing. And you were even thinking about calming down with the surfing because it was giving you so much pain. I had to calm down.
I surfed so much, especially before my daughter. I would surf twice a day, and I would eat very healthy. But I still had a lot of dairy. I would eat meat every now and then, and a lot of salmon. And I had constant tendonitis in my arms, and it was so bad that I had to sit up and sleep, because if I turn on the sides, and it's common among surfers, a lot of them have it, and it was just getting worse and worse. And so in the end, and I thought when I got pregnant with Lisa it would go away, because I was like, okay, I'm not surfing as much. I thought it was only muscle pain, and it did go away. And then I went to see doctors, and they're like, you have to either stop surfing, surf less, or operations in your both shoulders, which they we do not recommend. No. So I couldn't surf as much. I had to change from short boards to pretty fat boards. Short still, but fat, no, which you can't do that much. I would not surf more than an hour a day, and I still had pain. And in the end, it got so bad, and then I got back pain as well. And I didn't think about the diet. So I did.
Wasn't particularly unhealthy what you were doing.
No,
anyway,
no.
So.
I was eating really healthy, and I was like, what I had been taught is good for me, and a lot of dairy and a lot of fish and stuff like that, and a lot of vegetables, and then I had so much pain that I couldn't surf anymore. I couldn't horse ride. I have a horse. I couldn't horse ride anymore. I went to painkillers all the time, and I'm someone who don't take medicine normally, and I was just an osteopath 6 times 12 times chiropractor. Like, I got the whole thing, and the doctor's just like, well, your shoulders and your back. And
accept it.
Yeah, exactly. This is part of growing old. Oh, that's what everyone says. This is what happens when you grow old. Yeah, the biggest lie ever. And I just thought, I was like, I don't mind getting old, but this is really bad. I hate this part. And I met everyone, all the stuff is like, when you get old. And then I watched What the Health, the documentary. And in that last part, they're talking about this parkour world champion. And he just said quickly in a phrase like, my tendonitis disappeared when I turned vegan. I was like, I tried that. I had no expectations whatsoever. I'm like, I tried everything. I tried every different diet. I tried all the medicine in the world that I was not allowed to take it anymore because it's addictive.
So you'd run down a dead end, really.
Yeah, and I had no more. And I was just like, oh, he said that. Maybe that works. A month later, it's gone.
Right.
10 years of pain.
10 years of pain, 1 month gone. Okay.
It was so fast. And I know I didn't realize it. It's mind blowing. I felt I won a lot of years. At the same time, I can get really upset because they fooled me. They took all these years away from me. I lived in pain, and it was only the diet. It was only, as I believe, dairy products, because I had a lot of that, which I was taught was a good thing for you.
Was it mainly milk or yogurt or
milk and yogurt, Greek yogurt? Because I would always I'm someone who loves porridge and muesli and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so I would have a lot of coffee with milk in it, right. a lot. And I think it was because it was so extreme after 1 month, and I went out surfing, and I was still on my thick board because I thought I would still have the pain, and without noticing, I had been out for 2 hours, and I was like, what? Oh, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have so much pain now. And I was like, why don't I feel anything? And I went home prepared that this is gonna be horrible, I'm gonna have so much pain, and nothing came. And it's gone since then. It never came back. Wow. I just always, that's 1.5 years ago now, not even, and it's gone. And I'm just like, I know that people go...
energy's good.
And my energy level, not even talk about it. My hostel is called Koala because I used to sleep. Right. Now I have a problem sleeping because I'm just full of energy.
I saw that last night when I got back. You were still on form all day.
And everyone, my sister changed. She's 47. She changed her diet. She says her energy level. She's biking to work. She's calm. And I guess because you have energy, you can do more, which creates more energy. And she's just the same as well. We were fooled. I don't know why they're saying vegan blah blah blah, vegan this. The only thing I can say, try it. Try it for 1 month or 2 months, maybe, I don't know, but do it good, don't only, you eat the nuts, you eat everything, a lot of broccoli, a lot of avocado, I eat that almost every day, and nuts, and then try it.
Because that's one thing to say, isn't it? You can have a vegan diet and still be very unhealthy, because you could, for example, be eating loads of chips, loads of bread, so it's about the vegan diet, but it's about being smart with it and picking the healthy, the green
whole
vegetables
foods.
And that's the important thing. Do you find, since becoming vegan, that you've had lots of challenges socially and what other people think of you? How do you deal with that? What sort of things have you had?
I think I can get pretty upset. I was a vegetarian for 10 years and no one said anything. That was fine. And then I turned vegan, and then people allow themselves to pass comments, jokes, and also oh, what, are you vegan? I'm like, excuse me, that's my food.
Challenging you.
Yeah, I don't sit and talk about your food. It's it's my personal choice. It's good for my body. It's good for the planet. It's good for the animals. What is the problem? I don't get it. What
it's different.
But what? If I would say instead, I have an allergy to this and this, then it's
suddenly fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also want...
You should just say that.
I don't want to, because I think I was fooled. If someone had told me 10 years ago that their pain was gone because they changed their diet, I would have changed it. That's why I don't want to say it's because I think it's very important, and especially
people
when you
understand that.
Yeah, because when we turn over 30s, very, very sporty people normally start having problems. It's the back, it's the shoulders, it's whatever it is, the neck, something that we had, an old injury that won't really heal.
Yeah.
And I wish that they had told, someone had stood up and said, you know what, try this. Just try it for a month and see what you... Imagine I would have done that 10 years ago. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying...
Well, could have saved a lot of lives as well, I'm guessing.
Of course. And the energy and everything. And I don't... Obviously, I know why the media says we shouldn't be vegans, because it's lobbyism behind it. I mean, I work in documentaries on lobbyism. I know how it works, but... Even I was fooled for 10 years, even I didn't think it was a good thing. And even like, oh, vegan, like, I remember like when I was young, I was like, oh, oof, what's that? It just means what you eat.
A really interesting thing that was said yesterday, we don't have to mention any names, but there was a family who owned a dairy company.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have dairy in their diet.
Yeah. This was down here, a luxury house, one of the biggest dairy... a French dairy, a very big brand, rented a luxury house down here. And when my best friend asked, so, oh, you very beautiful family, and she's like, oh, so you need a lot of dairy then in your products? And they're like, no. And no one in the family was allowed to touch dairy. They only had like almond milk, soya milk, like none of that.
And yet they made their money from selling it and promoting it.
Yeah. And yes.
Doesn't that give you a lot of answers there
Integrity.
to why things are how they are? Money does make the world go round.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we're being told the truth or being our healthiest selves.
And as I said, for people, I mean, I had this, people always come with like, oh, this is bad, blah, blah, blah. Meat is good for that, this is good for that. Like, I'm just like, you can prove anything with numbers. My advice is to always, ask yourself, who is earning money on this? To tell me to buy this or have this sort of haircut or whatever you do. Who earns? Is anyone earning money from it? Then it might not be...
Yeah, pull yourself out of this situation.
And then, as when it comes to veganism, I don't see who would earn any money on it. Maybe some soya production, I don't know. But try it. Just try it. It's like the biggest proof that... And if it doesn't work, okay. But I don't know anyone who did it rightly that it didn't work for.
Really?
Yeah. And also when it comes to girls and women, who cares a lot about wrinkles, a lot about our skin.
Yeah.
And
you don't need to be putting the creams on. Just look after your internals.
Yeah, exactly. Like your skin quality changes, you look younger.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but there's no point in buying all the extreme creams for a lot of money if it doesn't come. It comes from inside and out.
Of course.
Not outside and in. You know,
and it's hydration as well. I mean, because I do what I do. I'm a personal trainer. I'm managing people's health, and so many people say, "I'll say, how much water do you drink a day?" And pretty much every time I just get not enough. So people are aware that they don't drink enough, and it's like water is life. That's you need it. 75% of your muscle mass is fluid, so you need to be hydrated, and it's going to nourish your skin.
Yes.
So. It's crazy.
Can we have another bottle of water here, please?
Some more cream on.
Yeah.
But just hydrate and it'll all be good.
So you've gone from TV presenter, all this fame, now living out here on this beautiful beach, vegan diet. Would you say you're the happiest you've ever been in your life right now?
Yes, I mean, we all have personal struggles and stuff, but I manage that by going out and surfing or just diving into the ocean. And I guess I'm so happy to get out of TV. It's not long. I just stopped, I would say 1.5 years ago, and also the screen time because of my daughter. I had to sort of take it off for myself as well, and it just changes me. It's actually a constant stress. You don't realize it until you're off it. And then you feel your brain just like, wow, and I have energy. I read books again, which I didn't do for years. I was like, now I really also try to turn it off, and see how you feel, because it's a constant, it's constantly there.
Yeah.
And when it's not, and people get really upset. They're like, you can never reach me on the phone. I'm like, send me a message. I will check it every day. I do, and I'm pretty bad with my bookings as well. I'm I don't answer straight away.
You're quite efficient when
with your guys. I know.
Must have been a good day.
I'm trying to be better. But I think especially that thing of stepping back and I understand if you live in a big city, maybe it's not so easy. But sometimes just stand still, breathe, and even if you're a big city, look at the trees and look at the sky. Try to sort of and stop.
I also think it's going for some people a stage deeper than that and going, do I need the city life? Do I need the wage that I'm on? Do I need these things that I think I need? Why not take a week or two abroad and just get out of that country, go somewhere else, like we've done today, meet people like yourself, and actually try living a different lifestyle?
I think you don't even have to go somewhere. I think you can, wherever you live. Let's say you're in England in a very rainy place. You get the right clothes, you dress yourself and you get out in the nature. Yeah. Even in the worst rain, and luckily if you have a dog, you will have a dog who's the happiest in the world, and try to maybe pack your car and sleep in a tent and get that. It's also very good to be here. I surf winter, it's super cold, but you feel so alive. And I think just connecting back to nature again, it doesn't cost anything. It costs to have a good clothes though, so a good jacket, know.
Yeah. Maybe that.
Yeah, you can buy that second hand. There's a lot of.
There you go.
Very
but
good. I think that's my new mission now in life, because I don't fly anymore.
Okay.
That's how extreme I got. Yeah. So I try not to fly. I do fly once a year to see my family, but I'm gonna try to not do that because of the climate crisis. And but what that changed for me is, I was also first I was like, oh no, because that's my biggest passion, to travel. And then I actually discovered much more here. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to surf winter here then, on the boots, and with my daughter as well. We got a thick wetsuit, little things on the head, and that going in here then when it's cold and stuff, and we have hot chocolate when we get up. It's
that's amazing.
And it was the same. Last time I was in Sweden with my sister, we just went. It was super cold. We went for a walk on the islands, which is empty this time of year. We took those boats out, and we were there. Walked really fast, and we were jumping in naked in the ocean, and then we had a big picnic. It's just also those things we don't need. We don't need to travel. We don't need all the clothes. We need just to reconnect and also get those adrenaline kicks that you can get from cold as well. You don't have to surf. You can just jump in a freezing cold water.
Reconnect. I really felt that last night when we were on the beach, and there was hardly anybody left on the beach at that time. It were about 10 o'clock last night, and we just knelt down in the sand and
we watched the sunset, didn't we?
Just breathing and closed his eyes, and it was just absolute clarity and peace.
You just feel so clear-minded, don't you? And still again.
Yeah.
And I definitely felt the cold today. We did a workout and then ran in the sea.
That's the best.
Oof. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack.
Yes, you do.
But it felt so alive to do that.
And afterwards, you'd
amazing,
absolutely
supercharged.
Pumping. So I guess cold water is amazing. I like the Wim Hof stuff, a lot, and it's really makes you pumping and all. Your body goes. If you do that in the morning, you just
feels amazing.
It really
Not
does.
Initially, it felt pretty horrible to begin with.
You feel alive.
Then absolutely. Yeah.
And it's a good way to just get. Of course, if you're in a big city, it's not so easy. You can get in a cold shower, but if you can really do it in the nature, then it's really then you get your rush. You don't need much more. And that's also as I come back to all those screens again and the phones, even I get oh wow, I want to dress like that, or it creates needs that don't.
They don't fill you, do they? They don't.
No.
They don't.
And it was funny.
You always need another one.
And I had this the Burberry coat that I wanted for 10 years before I bought it. This classical, the most gorgeous coat. I don't know. I thought it probably would change my life to have that coat. I saw Kate Moss in it, and I was like, that's the coat.
Okay.
Yeah. For 10 years. So when I turned 40, I bought that coat.
Still felt the same?
Yeah. And I feel so stupid now. And I'm when I see it, I'm how could I think that a coat would make me look better or feel better? It doesn't. I actually just feel fooled now. I'm €2,000 for this.
Yeah.
Look at it.
There's a famous quote by Jim Carrey, you know, the actor Jim Carrey. He says that, I hope that everybody gets all their hopes and dreams so that they know that it's not the answer.
And that's what I got.
That's your story, isn't it? Yeah.
I got it very early, and I'm so thankful for that, because that's what we are
brought. Well, you can work and work and work towards that, and you could end up almost passing your life just passing by you, and then you realise, oh no, it's gone now.
Yeah. And was this it?
And you never needed any of that stuff.
No, and that wasn't happiness at all.
That's great that you learned that at a young age.
Yeah,
and we're learning that now, speaking to you. That's why we felt the need to do this today, and we're so grateful that you've taken the time out to do this for us.
Yeah.
Because this is a great message for people. You know,
as somebody who's been there, who's been what is perceived as successful, you're saying you're far more successful now without any of that.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, and looking back on those years and that lifestyle, is there anything from that lifestyle you ever miss? Do you sometimes wish there was aspects of that?
What I really liked was I met a lot of very interesting people that I wouldn't have met either. I'm not talking about. So
it's still a connection thing. It's not the
monetary
thing.
And I was like, I very early realized I wasn't interested in stars or famous people. I was more like maybe meeting the best historian that could explain something for me. Like the best ones you don't get in school. Those are the things that still really was deep inside of me. People that are passionate about something. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
But people that are passionate about whatever they do and love what they do, first of all, they have a way of talking about it, but it's also like they have beauty. For me, they are beautiful, and they would just, because they found their thing. So I think like working hard can absolutely, of course, if you do what you love, if you do it for
a purpose.
Yeah, a purpose, that's the best. If you can help out, that's like what gives you the most, of course. But it's like, if the purpose, I saw this beautiful thing, like if you work to have money, you would only be surrounded by the people that also want money.
Yeah.
If you work with charity and goodness, you would only be surrounded by people that do that. If you work with like nature or healing, you will meet people that are like that. Where do you want to be? Do you want to spend your time with people who wants to be famous and money? Is that because that's what you're going to surround you and fight with? Or do you want to do good where you work together? And also like, so what your goal is what surrounds you.
Yeah.
And that is also like that. I was like really wow when I did a documentary about this business guy who was only into money, and then he saw this thing and he wanted to save a boy, and it made that he had to change his universe. He was still a businessman, and he said the biggest thing about saving the boy was actually not that I saved the boy, him. It was like my whole life changed, I was surrounded by good people.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, if you do good, if you feel happy, if you surf, you're surrounded by surf, it's like enjoying life, or,
it's so calm here, it's so chilled. Everybody's so polite and friendly.
We said straight away, everybody seems genuinely happy. Yeah. And that shows you the way that they talk to you.
Working in the shops and things like that, usually, back home, someone's working in the shop, like, throwing your change at you.
We had it at the airport, didn't we?
Yeah.
We saw a guy.
Last night, we were like, wow, how friendly were he? Yeah. And he was like giving us a fist pump when he'd served us, I was like, that's nice.
We didn't know what to do. We were like, cheers.
Yeah.
Okay, this is different.
But we can see it here, especially in winter, because it can be, all the surfers in winter means there's just no people in the water, and we have it all for ourselves, so the people that are sporty, we glow in winter, everyone's just like, how did you do that? Like what? And then you see the ones who don't live for that, and they're like, oh god, it's winter, it's raining again, it's so like they're so gray. Honestly, like the whole turn gray, and like ugh. And then the ones who's been out, it's like whoa, like they bloom and they're open and life is amazing, so it's like, that's what I mean, like wherever you are, you need to find where you are, because you can't have as a goal. I mean, okay, I gave up everything and moved there, but if you can't do that, you have to find it where you are. You have to find the happiness where, and for me, I think it's often what you eat changes how you feel, gives you energy to go outside, and that is like a good circle,
Yeah.
And you would meet people who are the same way, and yeah, I think that's what do you call it, rich and happiness, or
Yeah.
And we're pretty close to closing it off, and usually when we finish every episode, we ask the question, what is your definition of success? So, you know, briefly, what does that mean to you, ultimately? So your definition of success.
Because I have a daughter, it's being a mom, that spend my time with her, giving her all those things, being out in the nature, have time for her, like really be present. Not too much, I will back off and let her play as well, but really make sure that is my happiness. If I can fulfill that she's outside, she's in the nature, she finds joy. The other day she surfed and I was just like swimming next to her and just watching her. That's my that's my happiness. That is success for me. That sort of try to pass it on.
Yeah.
And I hope, just being the best I can be and there. And then I hope, for her to find happiness, because I am happy the way I am. But
she will be. I can see that yesterday. And you're showering kisses all the time. It's beautiful to see. It is, and I can tell you're a really passionate mother. So
I wanted to say that was really obvious to me from the moment we met.
Yeah, you didn't need
clearly
to tell anybody.
Yeah, you've got a lot of people there. We're 3 new guests that have arrived, and we needed, showing around. There's also other people that are staying with you, and you were so present with everybody. And when your daughter came over, you still met, a lot of other people. They're running a business, they've got guests, and they put all their emphasis on the guests, and they, just stick their kids in front of a game or something like that, and say, you stopped and you listened to her and you spoke to her, and I really picked up on that straight away, and I thought, what a great way to be. I thought there's a lot to be learnt there from that relationship you've got with your daughter, so I think that's amazing. It's really good. Just before we finish, if people want to come and meet themselves and stay at your hostel, where do people find out about it? How can they book a room here?
Oh yeah, it's a very simple hostel. Yeah. It's my home. It's
beautiful though. we can vouch for that. It's very clean. It's really nice, and as you can see, the most friendliest of hosts. So it's highly recommended from us three.
The people as well. The people that are staying there.
My guests are just like. That's what makes me love it. After I did it for 15 years, and I have the best, because I know it's a very simple hostel. It's just on the beach, and it's like dorms and a common kitchen. I have Wi-Fi, but I want people to talk, and I have a lot of social games. Like a lot of games. But it's
put the phone down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, get ready to put the phone away.
See me if I go like this. And I do sometimes. I go up and I turn off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Right.
But I see people doing it, and they're like, it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, this is France. Oh man, I won't say it's real. I'm like, we're on the ocean. They're really behind here. Like it's. And then all of a sudden, people start, speaking and talking and having fun. But so.
I love that.
So how can people find you? So it's the Koala Surf House.
Koala Surf House.
If they go on that nasty Google, that internet, just for a few minutes, just to find
Koala Surf House, and it's in Hosogor. So but you need to surf if you're coming. You can't just come because I don't want too much party. You can party, but surfing is.
The fundamental.
Yeah,
I could see
that is the party.
We're going to
do that, aren't we? We have to get aboard and get out there today. It's not looking bad either.
No. You're going to have some good ones.
Yeah. We're going to do it. Listen, thank you so much. I think I speak on behalf of Dan, Ash, and myself. You one of the most amazing people we've met, and we can't thank you enough for your time. And let's get out there on the waves. Let's see what we can do.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Thank
you.
Thank you so much for listening to today's Rich in Success episode. If this episode has impacted you, there's a few things we need you to do to help support the show right now. Please spread the word. Tell a friend that you think needs to hear our message, and subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher or Google Play. And please give the show a 5-star review. Don't forget to also like our social media pages and tag us on your Instagram stories. Your support means the world. Thanks again, and let's keep growing together.